He thought she was just another patient, silent, unaware, unreachable. But the moment he touched her, everything changed. Dr. Ethan Hayes had spent countless nights in this hospital, surrounded by the quiet beeping of machines and the faint scent of antiseptic. Saving lives was his job, but some cases felt impossible, and Ava Sinclair was one of them. The billionaire heiress had been in a coma for 6 months following a tragic accident. Doctors had tried everything, but there was no sign of improvement. She was slipping away. Ethan didn't believe in miracles. He believed in science. But something about Ava's case pulled at him. Every evening, after his rounds, he found himself at her bedside. He spoke to her, even though she couldn't hear. Read her the headlines of the day, even though she couldn't react. And when it was time to change her bandages, he did so with a tenderness no one else showed. Tonight was no different. As he carefully unwrapped the bandage from her wrist, his fingers brushed against her skin. And that's when it happened. A sharp gasp. Ethan's head snapped up. His breath caught as Ava's fingers twitched. Then her eyelids fluttered. His pulse hammered as he leaned forward, heart racing. "Miss Sinclair," he whispered, barely believing what he was seeing. A shallow breath, a soft, broken whisper. Where am I?" Ethan's entire world tilted, because against all odds, she was waking up. And neither of them knew that this moment was only the beginning. Ethan's hands shook slightly as he grabbed his stethoscope, his mind racing. For months, every specialist, every neurologist, every test had said the same thing. Ava Sinclair wasn't coming back. And yet, here she was. He leaned closer, his voice steady but full of urgency. "Ava, can you hear me?" Her eyelids fluttered again, her breathing shallow. Her lips parted and a single word escaped, a name. Daniel." Ethan's chest tightened. Who was Daniel? A family member? A lover? Ava's eyes blinked open fully. For the first time in 6 months, she was awake. She looked confused, disoriented. The bright hospital lights reflected in her glassy blue eyes. She tried to move, but her body was weak. "Take it easy," Ethan said quickly, his doctor instincts taking over. "You've been in a coma for a long time. Don't try to sit up just yet." Ava's gaze locked onto his. Something about her stare sent a strange shock through him. She looked at him like she knew him. Her voice was hoarse, barely a whisper. "Who are you?" Ethan hesitated. "Doctor." "Ethan Hayes? I've been overseeing your care." Ava swallowed, her throat dry. She frowned, as if trying to remember something. Ethan grabbed a cup of water and carefully helped her sip. His fingers accidentally brushed against hers, warm, trembling. The second their skin touched, Ava flinched, not in fear, in recognition. She inhaled sharply, her expression shifting into something Ethan couldn't understand. Then, in the weakest, most breathless voice, she said something that made his heart stop. "I know you." Ethan's breath hitched. "What?" Ava blinked slowly, staring at him like he was a ghost from her past. I've seen you before?" Ethan felt his entire body go cold. How was that possible? Because before today, they had never met. Ethan's stomach tightened at Ava's words. "I've seen you before?" she repeated, her voice weak but certain. His mind raced. How could that be? Before today, he had only known her as a patient, a billionaire heiress lying unconscious in a hospital bed. Ava's breathing was shallow as she stared at him, confusion flickering in her blue eyes. "But that doesn't make sense," she whispered. Ethan swallowed hard, trying to keep his voice professional. "Ava, you've been in a coma for 6 months. We've never met before today." She shook her head slowly. "No, I remember." Her fingers twitched against the hospital blanket. "I was in the dark for so long, but sometimes I could hear things. And I could feel things." Ethan's chest tightened. "Feel things." Ava's gaze locked onto his, and for the first time he felt truly seen. "Your voice," she murmured. "I remember your voice." His heart slammed in his chest. Ava's eyes glazed with memory. "It was soft, kind. You read to me. The news, the weather, sometimes even random things." She let out a shaky breath. "And your touch, it was warm, safe, Ethan's throat went dry. He had spent so many nights by her bedside thinking she was lost, never knowing she had been listening the whole time. Ava's fingers trembled as she slowly reached out. Ethan hesitated. Then, against all logic, all professionalism, he let her touch his hand. The second their skin connected, a sharp jolt shot through him. Ava gasped, her fingers tightening around his. "I know you," she whispered again, stronger this time. Ethan couldn't move, couldn't breathe, because in that moment, he felt it too. A connection, something unexplainable, something far greater than a doctor and his patient. And for the first time in his career, Ethan didn't care about logic, because against all odds, he had just fallen for the woman he was supposed to save. Ava's fingers tightened around Ethan's, as if anchoring herself to the present, to him. Her pulse was weak but steady, her breathing uneven but filled with something new, awareness. And Ethan, he was drowning. He had spent his life in hospitals, following protocols, keeping emotions locked away. But this moment, this was different, because somehow she had felt him before she even woke up. He swallowed hard. "Ava, what exactly do you remember?" Her lips parted slightly, her brows knitting together. "It's not clear," she whispered. "It was like floating in a dream. I couldn't move, couldn't see, but I felt things, and you..." She squeezed his hand, her voice trembling. "You were always there." Ethan's chest tightened painfully. She had heard him. All those nights when he thought he was speaking to nothing, she had been listening. Her eyes searched his. "You never stopped talking to me, did you?" He exhaled shakily. "Number I didn't." Ava let out a soft, breathless laugh. "Maybe that's why I came back." Ethan's pulse skipped. His medical mind fought for logic. But his heart already knew the truth. Somehow, fate had tied them together. Suddenly, the door burst open, and a team of nurses and specialists flooded the room. "Dr. Hayes, we need to examine her." Ethan hesitated. He didn't want to let go, but Ava gave him a small, knowing smile. "I'll be here when you come back." His breath caught. For 6 months, he had waited for her to wake up. And now she was waiting for him. Ethan took one last glance at the woman who had turned his world upside down. And for the first time in his life, he knew. This wasn't just medicine, this was destiny.